So you can actually connect over to your either significant other or a family.
Right. I can't connect to who they want me to.
Right.
And that's really the only time I run into problems, because sometimes people are so focused on who they want to come through.
Right.
And they automatically jump to the conclusion that they're going to come through and they're going to say this. And it doesn't work that way.
Right.
It's who comes through that wants to come through and who is strong enough to come through.
Now, have you ever run into readings where people, you basically said things to people and either you can tell how people reject it or don't want to hear from that particular person, they want to hear from somebody else, and then had them come back to you later and said, you know what, I should have listened to you at that time?
Oh, all the time.
So
absolutely.
It's one of those things where they're being told what they need to be told, not what they want to hear.
Yeah, definitely.
What's the hardest reading you ever had to do, Joseph?
The hardest reading I ever had to do, I would have to say, actually, probably reading James Van Prague.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, James is one of those characters, and I say that with all due respect. James is one of those characters who I see as a guy who's really dedicated to what he does.
Absolutely.
And is one of these guys that really gets into it to the point where he's almost giving a piece of himself away every time. Tell us how this reading went, and give us a little bit of background on it, because I didn't know you had read him.
Well, he contacted me, and it was just really odd how the whole thing happened. And then right after he contacted me, I was on, Lifetime Television and then the Travel Channel. It just kind of came to him. He said my name came to him within an hour 3 times, so he felt like he needed to contact me. And he asked me to be a part of, his kind of challenge, to be listed on his website, because he lists some of the top psychics, but you have to pass his test in order to do that. And his test isn't really easy. First, you have to read his assistant. Once you pass through her, you read a random person that he throws at you. Mm-hmm. And then lastly, if you pass those 2, you get to go to him. And he's not an easy person to read. He's been doing this for a long, long time, probably double the amount, maybe even triple since I've been doing it. And, he's picky. There were times I said things to him and he was like, nope, that means nothing. And I'm like, you should know that there's going to be things that I'm going to say that'll hit you later. And he was, the next day he called me on the phone. He's like, you said this yesterday and it didn't hit me till today. And he did that for like several days in a row. So now I'm listed on his website. But he was difficult. And I was nervous because he's like an icon to me.
Right. Now, if somebody says, are you ever requested by families of missing or I hate to say deceased, because obviously people hope that their loved ones are not deceased that are missing. But have you ever been contacted by families of missing children?
I've had families ask me a few times, and again, there's nothing I can do without the backup of law enforcement, and I won't willingly do that if law enforcement contacts me. Because there were even so many sessions that I've done where people came through that were murdered, and I was able to give them so many details, and they take it to the police, and the police won't even look at it when they tell it came from a psychic.
So, when you pick up this a person that has been murdered, are you seeing it as them, or are you seeing it as they're telling you this?
It's both. Sometimes I'm actually taken to the scene, and I see the whole thing play out right in my eyes. Okay, so you see the whole. It's like you're a witness to the crime. Pretty much. Wow. And it all depends, again, on the connection. What was interesting is the one that I worked on last week. Anytime I do my work, I always do meditation and prayer. And when I do that, a lot of things come to me. So I write them down and I take note. And I never look, I ask for a picture of the victim. And, I won't even look at that until it's time for me to talk to them on the phone, which is usually how I do it, because everybody I worked with was distant, far away. And the woman, the detective called me, and I had this whole murder play out during my meditation, and I'm telling her, and I look at the picture, I'm like, this isn't the same lady I just saw murdered in my meditation. And I tell the woman this, she's like, that's another case that I'm working on right now. You just described exactly what happened. So you're solving cases for other people now? 4 different cases I gave her in one session. That's a pretty good track record there.
Now, Joseph, when you're actually seeing these murders and all that take place, is it like in your meditation, are you actually vividly seeing these as a person like standing on the side actually witnessing everything that is happening, or?
In some cases, yes.
Okay. And in other cases, does it come in like bits and pieces for you? Or?
Sometimes I get just information, just a little bit of hearing different messages that come through. Sometimes it's a feeling thing.
Okay.
Like when I did the American Psychic Challenge, I was there. So I was getting a lot of feeling on top of sight and everything else.
Oh, wow.
What's your great, do you have any like fears of this? And I say that because some psychics do express that they have fears of what they're able to do and what they're not able to do.
No, not really.
Okay.
I've been doing it for so long. I've seen some pretty crazy stuff in my lifetime.
Okay.
I spent the night in the Eastern State Penitentiary in Philadelphia 2 nights in a row.
Wow.
Wow.
With the ghost hunting team. So nothing really does scare me at this point. Doesn't mean nothing will in the future.
Right. Now we were talking with Tony about Fort Mifflin in the first hour. Have you ever been to Fort Mifflin or even anything like that?
Not there. I'm not familiar. I've been to Gettysburg.
Gettysburg, okay.
Which was an interesting experience, to say the least.
Yeah, I mean it's something you could think about. Fort Mifflin is one of those things right on the Delaware. It was just south. I don't want to say south of Philadelphia, right south of Philadelphia. So,
I'm curious. What he said it was pretty interesting in Gettysburg. What did you experience in Gettysburg? I'm curious.
Actually, it's really strange actually, because I've done past life regressions. If you're familiar with that at all.
Yes.
And I did a past life regression on myself when I was learning how to do it, and I went back to dying on the battlefield of the Civil War when I was 19 years old. And it wasn't until I actually went to Gettysburg and stood on the field that I knew that's where I died. It was really weird.
Is it just me? I mean, I've been to Gettysburg before. It seems like a very familiar place, although I've never been there before.
There you go.
Is it one of the? Is that what it came through for you also?
Exactly.
It's like you know where this stuff is, and you know, I got to the you know where I'm talking about, the high water mark, and walked the field. I went out there exactly where the tree line is. It's a hall, obviously, but it seemed all so familiar to me, and I don't know. I guess I can't piece it together exactly why, but I guess that plays a part.
You were there before.
It seems like. I mean, I live in Pennsylvania, but I don't live close to that. So
don't either. I mean, that's a haul from here.
Yeah. It was what, a 3-4 hour ride at least.
Something like that. But I got overwhelmed with emotion. I just felt it.
Exactly.
Was unexplainable. And then the people wandering around. There's so many soldiers wandering around there.
It really is. It's you see all the monuments, but then it's hard to explain to people unless they've actually been there. It's almost like the place swallows sound. I hate to say it that way, but it's almost like it swallows sound. It's very calm, it's very morbid, and it's very...
It's something.
Beautiful place, but it's also a very place that's significant and obviously very interesting. What we're going to do is take a break real quick. When we come back, we're going to talk more with the man himself, Joseph Tittel. And if you want to give us a call at 610-701-4294 if you have a question for him. Joseph, we have a call up on line 1, and I want to invite that person to the cafe. Welcome.
Okay. Hello.
Hello?
Hello, you're on the Paranormal Cafe.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if I was connected.
There you go.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Joseph. How are you? I've spoken to Joseph. I've spoken to you a couple times in the past.
And, I'm sorry, caller, your name?
Laura.
Laura, okay.
Yeah. Okay. About family issues that have been ongoing. And now there's a potential baby coming into the situation. And I'm just wondering if you can tell me whether this is going to happen or not.
Let me stop right here for 1 second. I just want to ask Joseph, are you okay with doing a couple of mini readings on the air?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure he's okay with that before we go any further, but okay.
You want to know if the baby's going to be involved in this situation, or I don't understand?
I want to know if you think there is going to actually be a baby.
Oh, there's going to be a baby, all right. A baby boy, actually.
A baby boy.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
But I don't see reconciliation with the family.
No.
I see this ongoing. I see this drug out. Now, is there a court case over this?
There may be. This has all just happened in the last week, so I'm not sure exactly which direction I'm going to be going with this.
Okay, because I do see courts and I see a law system involved. You have a suit going now, do you, over anything?
Well, divorce has been filed. However, there's a potential situation that this woman...
No, I see a battle in court.
A battle.
I see a battle in court. It doesn't look like a good battle. You know,